I think you'd enjoy this basically more than anybody. But 1864 is just concluded, and the Army of the Potomac has really pushed the Army of Northern Virginia right back into the trenches. Historically, just pretty much like what happened in the war. And they're just basically trying to hold out. And if you move west, let me pan the camera back, you can see that they've taken, the Union has secured West Virginia, they've secured Kentucky as a border state, they've come down and basically taken over Tennessee. And you can see Forts Henry and Donelson have fallen. There's Illinois, and you come down the Mississippi, and Mississippi is going to fall next turn. Really amazing was the positioning, very historically accurate around Vicksburg. With basically my army of the West was stuck in Vicksburg, and the only way you can cross a river in this game is if you control the waterway, and luckily they did. And in this area, I did not have this blocked off, so the Army of the West was able to retreat. But there's really nothing they can do. They're out of supply. There's nothing they can liberate up there. Arkansas has fallen, or will fall next turn. Missouri has fallen, and man, the North is just going to pour in more resources. So they're just trying to hold out and protect Arkansas and Louisiana to the end of the turn. But you can see Grant is in position here, and the underbelly is pretty secure. There's no break off to Atlanta. I don't think there's going to be time for it. And then if you look at the timetable on the war, which is really freaking awesome, was at the end of 1864, if the Union had 50 or less strategic will, Lincoln would not have got reelected, and they would have capitulated the war effort. But here they didn't, by 6 points, which is just amazing. And for the Union to win now in the last turn, they've either got to get the South down to 0, which is 20 points, which is not going to be easy, or they got to take over 10 states. That includes the border. So they currently own 3 states. They've taken over 3 border states. They also have Texas. They have Tennessee. Arkansas is probably going to fall. Mississippi is definitely going to fall. And then that's going to give them 5, 6, 7 states, I believe, if my numbers are right. And then for every 25 points different on the map, they get another state. So it's going to be really, really close come to the end of the battle. And then the other thing that's really amazing about this game is you set up your armies with their generals, which add bunches of modifiers. So surprisingly, the Army of the Northern Virginia is actually led by, I think that's Kirby Smith. Wheeler's cavalry, and Beauregard is basically second in command there. Army of the Tennessee, historically accurate, but not a great general, led by Hood. Hardee, Hood's got his Texans in there. Ewell and A.P. Hill. And Bragg, Forrest, and Van Dorn are in the Army of the West, which is probably the strongest army of the South, but they're just really pinned with not a lot to do. And then the North has the Army of the Potomac, led by Halleck, Stoneman, and Reynolds. Army of Tennessee is Grant and Sherman. Cumberland is Meade and Banks, and then you can see McClellan's in the Army of Missouri there with a bunch of folks. And you might wonder, where's Lee and a lot of the other generals? They actually die in this game depending on roles and situations. And at the time, Lee was not in command of the army. He was a general, had not been promoted because the general in front of it just wasn't time to promote him. That's part of what you have to do in this game. And he was on the front lines and died. So historically, they lost an amazing general in this game. So just, man, the game is just beautiful. It plays so historically accurate with the South winning many battles, but unfortunately losing the attrition war. So 1 turn left. We'll see how it ends up.